Hi there, welcome to the Old Guy Rules. My name's Eddie Hastings, and this is what we have for you this time. Five men, one mission. Their sole aim is to get hammered. The instigator of this vile misdemeanor, Eddie Hastings. We will also be telling you how to restore your browser and giving you your Spanish phrase of the day. All this and more when we return on the Old Guy Rules. So welcome to 60s. Today we are going to be testing some real ales in bottles. And with me I've got 5 of my best friends. They're in the pub all the time, so these guys really know what they're talking about. So with us today we've got Eddie. Give us a wave. We got Dodgy Dave.
Hey.
We got Terry. We've got Alan. And we got Big Baz. So, here we go. Who should we make the Toastmaster? It's being passed. It's being passed. One of you has got to open the bottle.
From one end and come back this way.
So we're going to start with a room temperature Golden Champion.
Right, good help, guys.
Cheers, all. Cheers. Happy Friday. Room temperature.
Right, we'll see as Barry started. We'll start with Barry. How do you find that one, Barry?
Quite pleasant. I think the heat of the beer, it just brings out the flavour more.
Yeah, nice though. Quite a back bite to it.
Yep.
Leaves a taste on the back of your throat. Nice.
Drinkable beer, love room temperature stuff. I prefer it to the cold every time.
Okay.
Very nice, very nice.
What's your opinion?
Fruity-ish. Very nice. Very... I like.
Quite nice, I could go some of these.
So there we go, that was the room temperature of Golden Champion. The boys are now about to lift the top off the chilled version, and we'll see what they think about that.
Nice.
So here we go, it's the same beer, but this one's been chilled overnight, and as we can see, Barry's first off the blocks to take a taste. Barry, does it make a difference, it being chilled?
Yes.
In what respect?
Well, in the temperature that we're in, it's more acceptable because it's cooler, but you lose the flavour. It's
Okay.
a bit chilled too much.
Okay. So, Alan, your thoughts on the chilled version?
Yeah, I agree with Barry. It's more pleasant to drink when it's cold, more palatable, and you could drink more when it's colder than when it's at room temperature.
Terry?
Almost a different beer entirely when it's cold. Different taste entirely as far as I'm concerned. There's no flavour in it with talking about I prefer room temperature.
So you would prefer it room temperature?
Second that all the way.
Yeah.
It's very nice to drink, but you lose the flavour when it's chilled.
So you think that when the beer's chilled, it loses a lot of its essence and a lot of its character?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now, before we get to our second bottle, I'd just like to say a big thank you to our suppliers, Snacks and Drinks in Las Chaferas, Tenerife. They supply some of the best drinks and snacks available on the island. If you're ever in need of bar supplies, give them a call. You can reach them on 0034 if you're outside Spain, 661 880277. That's 661 880277. Right, so next off the block is Thirsty Ferret. Now, this is an amber ale, and one of the lads is going to take the room temperature one, crack it open, and start dispensing it to the others.
Strength.
So the boys are now taking their first sip of Thirsty Ferret, and as always, Barry's first off the block, so we'll have a word with Barry. Barry, your thoughts on Thirsty Ferret?
Yes, different flavour completely. Probably a different type of hop they're using, but still very tasty.
Alan, your thoughts, please.
It's a nice, smooth bottle beer. As I say, it might be different cold. I would prefer it cold. I think I've not even tasted it yet, but I wouldn't have it at room temperature.
Terry, your thoughts, please.
A lovely ale, very drinkable. Could have a session of this any time.
Dodgy.
Smooth. Prefer the last one, but it's okay.
And Eddie,
It's all right, but I wouldn't rush back.
you would not rush back for that one.
Yeah, it's okay.
Oh well, different strokes, different folks. And now the boys are going to be trying the chilled version of the Thirsty Ferret. Oh boys, you've had a chance to try the chilled version of Thirsty Ferret. Barry, what do you think?
Yeah, well, there again, chilling it, it sort of loses its flavour. But I think the room temperature brings out the strength more.
Alan?
Yeah, I agree with that. Room temperature, you can tell it's a 4.4 strength beer. This, with it being cold, I would say knock it down to about a 3.
Terry, is it a beer for you?
No, prefer the room temperature, but even the room temperature wasn't all that flavoursome. But this is like just cold water.
Do you concur with that, Dave?
Certainly do. This could be anything. So it's
No.
Totally agree with
And
this.
Eddie?
I totally agree with this too.
Yeah, so you think the chilled one doesn't do anything for you, and the overall taste is not to your palate?
I think the chilled ales are always not good.
Now, the boys are using the CAMRA scoring system, and CAMRA is Campaign for Real Ales. It's a very simple system. It's 1 to 5. 5 being the best, obviously, and 1 being, shall we say, not quite so good. Let's take a look at how the scores stack up at the moment. And as we can see, Golden Champion has taken an early commanding lead, but it's still early days. Let's see what the next one has to offer, and next up, it's Proper Job. Next up, we're going to the St Austell Breweries. Now, this is quite a potent beer. It is 5.5. It's called Proper Job, and the boys are just about to crack open the room temperature one. So, as we can see, the boys are just finishing pouring the Proper Job, and we'll turn back to Barry to find out his thoughts on Proper Job.
Very nice tasting beer. It tastes a lot sweeter. Hence the strength of the alcohol, 5.5. So it must be a lot sweeter.
Turning to Alan, who's just about to swallow his mouthful. Oh, that sounded so bad, didn't it?
Unfortunately, this is not one of mine. I don't like this.
No?
No.
So you'll be giving that one a low
I'll
score?
give that a low score.
Yeah, but you never
Then
know.
again,
You
saying
may
that,
prefer it
I
chilled.
may prefer it chilled. Room temperature is a bit of an insipid taste for me.
I found it
Terry?
a little bit sickly actually. 1 pint, 2 pints, but I wouldn't like to have a session on it. No, it's too strong.
this one.
Dave?
I could like this one too much. It'll get me into trouble.
So you think that's a dangerous brew?
That's a very dangerous brew. Yes.
Very nice.
Eddie?
Very nice, but that strength, I didn't drink a lot of it. Aye.
And here we go, the boys are just about to crack open the chilled version of Proper Job from St Austell Breweries. Right, boys, let's change the order. Let's go to Ed first and see what you think about the chilled version.
Total waste of beer.
A total waste of beer.
Yeah, if you leave it the way it was, room temperature.
There you go.
Could be anything.
And Dave.
Totally agree. Ruined it. I loved it as it was, but no, nobody's always like that.
Whatsoever.
Terry.
No flavour whatsoever. No, I wouldn't. Thank you for a pint of that. No thanks.
Alan.
The same as what I said before. I don't like it, and it's not my taste at all.
Barry.
Chilling this is it loses its flavour.
It's a sin.
There's a much more tang with it at room temperature.
Next off the block is a very popular drink, also available on draft. It's Moreland's Speckled Hen. Now this is a 5. It's quite a potent beer, so we'll let the boys crack open the room temperature one. Terry.
Always been one of my favourites. A nice flavour, beautiful hoppy beer. Drink pints of this.
Dave.
One of my favourite beers. Love it. What more can I say? Thanks.
Eddie.
Yeah, it's very nice that. In fact, the bottled beer to me is better than a draft beer. Speckled Hen.
Alan.
Very nice beer. I like it. Nice and hoppy. Good depth to it.
Barry.
A very renowned beer, Moreland's. Always top quality, and should go down very well.
So now the boys are going to try the chilled version of Old Speckled Hen. So boys, in your own time.
The chill.
Chilled Speckled Hen. Barry, chilled Speckled Hen.
Yes, well, I prefer it just like slightly chilled because it just has that more tang with it, and it brings out the flavour rather than when it's at room temperature.
So this is the first one of the beers that we've tried that you actually prefer when it's chilled.
When it's chilled, yes, yeah.
Alan, let's see your thoughts.
Well, I like it chilled and I like it room temperature as well, but chilled is a nice thirst quenching drink.
Terry.
I agree with Barry entirely, actually, funnily enough. I'd rather have it just slightly chilled, not absolutely like a freezer, but slightly chilled would be nice.
Dodgy Dave.
Sorry, guys. Just don't like any of these chills. Doesn't work for me. You lose a lot of the flavour.
So even where the others preferred it chilled, you're still a room temperature man.
Yeah. Still I like the beer, but I prefer it room temperature.
And Eddie.
Same as Dave, I prefer it at room temperature, but at least that one, when it's chilled, it still has some sort of flavour to it.
The boys then went on to test 3 more bottled ales. There was Tanglefoot, Hopping Hare and Tribute, each met with different degrees of likability or dislike. Let's take a look at the overall scores just before we get to our draft beers. As we can see, Speckled Hen is out in front, but Tribute is not far behind. Let's see how the draft ales stack up. So there you go, we've been testing real ales in bottles, but what the boys are going to do now is they're going to take a sample of our 2 draft ales to see how they stack up against the bottles. So boys, we're going to start with the O'Hara's Red, so go and taste the beer. Now these are our standard draft ales that we have at 60s, and it's going to be interesting to see what the boys make of them in comparison to the bottles. We'll start with Barry. What's your thoughts on O'Hara's Red?
You know, it's the first time I've had this, but it's very, very pleasable. And I think it's a good session beer. I think I could handle this all evening.
Now, Alan, I know that when you come in at the end of the night, O'Hara's is your go-to beer. So give us your absolute, true, honest thoughts on O'Hara's Red.
Truth is, it's a very, very palatable beer. It's malty, full of flavour, and very, very drinkable.
Terry, I know you're not usually one of our draft real ale drinkers, but what are your thoughts on O'Hara's Red?
Used to drink it, Eddie, once upon a time, and I fell out of drinking it, surprisingly. But it's absolutely lovely. It's nice. I shall go back to it. Promise I will. Yep.
Dave, I know you've tried it before. I'm not sure it's your palate, but tell us your thoughts.
No, it's not me. There's a lot of bottled beers I've had today that I prefer a lot more than this.
And finally, Eddie, your thoughts on O'Hara's Red?
That's all right. I wouldn't rush back to it, but it's okay.
Said like a true Scot. And our final beer today is our draft stout O'Hara's. Now, O'Hara's, as a stout, it's, for my opinion, like a Guinness, but it doesn't have the metallic aftertaste on the back of your throat. So we're going to start with Barry. What do you think of O'Hara's stout, Barry?
Very palatable. As Eddie said, it's not as harsh as Guinness, if harsh is the right word. But yes, I could enjoy this more. I know my wife; she loves it. She drinks quite copious amounts of it.
Well, Barry.
Alan, your turn. O'Hara's stout.
This is, well, it's not my tipple at all. It's very strong beer, very treacly. Not as strong as Guinness, I don't think. But I'm sorry, it's not my drink at all.
Terry.
Eddie, being half Irish, if it's a dark ale, I'll drink Guinness every time. Yeah, I could drink a couple of pints of this, but no, it's not my type.
Dave.
Not the sort of drink to drink out here, to be honest, Eddie. It's all right, but it's not as good as Guinness, in my opinion.
And Ed.
Yes, I quite like that stuff. But as Dave says, it's not the sort of stuff you probably drink when you're out here on holiday. But back in the UK, yeah.
So there we are. The boys have tasted all of the beers, and I'm just going to show you the aftermath of our afternoon session.
Hey!
I have no idea. And I would like to thank the boys for helping us out. What we're going to do now is we're going to correlate the scores, and in a while I'll tell you which beer came out on top. So boys, just to sum up, have we had a successful afternoon?
Oh yeah, very enjoyable.
So I know we've not correlated the scores yet, which we will do after. For you, Barry, what was your favourite?
I would say definitely the where are we?
Definitely some.
The Hopping Hare was good, and the Old Speckled Hen was exceptional.
Brilliant. Alan, your favourite?
I got two, the Speckled Hen and the Tribute.
Brilliant. Terry, for you,
The
favourites?
Tribute and Golden Champion. It was absolutely
Tribute
fantastic.
and Golden Champion. Dodgy Dave.
You set the score with the Golden Champion, it's brilliant, but I love Old Speckled Hen and the Tribute, surprised me, so that's got my vote.
Brilliant. And finally, Ed, your favourites?
Old Speckled Hen and Proper Job.
There you go. So, guys, that is our testing session. Join us next time, and we may be testing top shelf, and these boys may well be on their back. So there you have it. The outright winner is Old Speckled Hen. So keep your eyes open at 60s, because it may well be in stock. Has this ever happened to you? You've been looking at something on your computer and now you're stuck with a browser that you don't want. Don't panic. We can help. to the computer. Okay, so here we go. As you can see, Chrome is not my browser, and I may have put anything in there, and there is no symbol in the address bar at the top to tell me. First thing you need to do is go to the top right-hand corner and click your three little dots, and then find Settings. Now, when you open Settings, that will open the Chrome browser's settings page, and when that opens, you'll need to scroll down until you find the search engine management. Now, many times you can drop this little box and it'll tell you what's available. But a more secure and safe way to do this is to hit Manage Search Engines. Now, when you hit this, it will open another little box for you, and you can see exactly what you have there. As you can see, if you go to the end of the row on Google Chrome, you'll find three little dots. Click those little dots and then hit Make Default. Now, this will make your browser default as google.com. And that's sorted that one. Very simple. And if you open a new tab, you'll be able to see that the familiar Google logo will appear as your browser opens. So you're back to Google. Now what you need to do is you need to cover your tracks. So go back to your three little dots and you'll see History there. Click History and click History again. That will open another page in your settings which stores all the history where you've been looking. So here it comes. We open the history page. And as you can see, there is your history. On the left-hand side, you'll see Clear Browser Dating. So go ahead, click that, and that will show you what you can clear. There it is. So you can clear for any amount of time, all time, last time, but I'm just going to clear for the last hour. Hit Clear Data, and that will get rid of anything that you've been looking at and keep you safe before your partner gets home. And those are the settings for Chrome. Now we're going to look at the settings for a Microsoft browser, and it's really very similar. So a little bit different, but very similar. In your search bar, type in which browser you want to start with, which search engine, sorry. So I'm going for google.co.uk. And let the search engine search for that. So go ahead and click search. That will bring up your Google. Hit Google, and here we go. And you're into your familiar Google page opening that you will know and love with the little Google emblem and your search bar there. Now, what you have to do in a Microsoft browser is you have to go back to your three little dots on the top right-hand side. And you can see we've got google.co in there. So open your little dots. You have to scroll down quite a way to find this. But scroll right down to the bottom and you'll see Settings. Click Settings and then scroll down again until you come to Advanced Settings. So click that and then you will find near the bottom Change Search Engine. And as you can see, we now have google.co in there. So give that a click to highlight it and hit Set as Default. And there you go. That is your browser set to google.co.uk. Now we're going to clear your tracks. So go back to your three dots, click those, and then once again head down to Settings, click Settings, and there you will find halfway down Clear Browsing Data. So give that a click, and these are all the things you can clear. I would suggest clear your browsing history, clear your cookies and save website data in case the site has put a cookie on your computer, clear your cached data and files, and also clear the tabs that you've set aside or recently closed. Now, if you've inadvertently downloaded something, you can also click Download History. Go ahead, hit the clear, and just wait for it to do its stuff. It will tell you that it's clearing data, so just be patient. It may take a little while, but clear your data and wait. Eventually, it will say, kind of clearing done, all clear. There you go. That has cleared your history, so no one can see what you've been looking at. And finally, it's time for your Spanish phrase of the day. And we're going to start really simply with just a greeting. So the Spanish way of saying hello is hola. Now, don't be doing this in a regional English accent. For example, don't be going hola treacle or hola or whatever. Try and say it in as much of a Spanish phrase as you can. So hola would just simply be hola. And if you want to extend that slightly, you can add que tal on the end, which means hello, how are you? So it's hola, que tal, not hola, que tal, treacle. So there you go, a very simple start to your Spanish phrase of the day. That's about it from the Old Guy Rules. I've been Eddie Hastings, and we'll see you the next time. Join us next time when the Old Guy Rules will be leaving Tenerife for a few days in Mallorca.